Hello everyone, this is Draginhikari. I welcome you back to the Nexus of Realms. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different that I haven't tried in a while. And we're going to watch some stuff together. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Tonight we're going to go ahead and check out and see what's going on in the analog horror scene. Normally throughout the year I tend to watch things here and there as I feel like doing it. As I kind of explained in previous playthroughs, including the mouth-washing one that we did not that long ago that I hope you guys have checked out or will check out. But I'm not real big on explicit horror in general, so usually the type of horror that I enjoy has to be a little bit more subtle and leaves much to the imagination for it to work very well for me. A number of reasons for this, but I won't get into much of that here. Before we get started tonight, just a couple of things I'd like to address real quick here. First of all, I did mention on the Discord, I don't think I got an opportunity to mention it anywhere else, about this stream possibly being delayed due to some issues with my beard Dragon Terra. I just kind of want to let everybody know here that she's doing alright for right now. She's almost 10, she's about 10 years old right now, so she's getting up there in the years. She's slowed down eating, she doesn't move around as much as she used to. So I was just concerned about any possible long-term implications of that shift. For the moment, the vet doesn't think there's any major things we need to worry about right now. They did an x-ray and they did some blood tests. They sent me home with some stuff to give her to try to help the fact that she's not eating as much as she probably should be. Hold on. Okay, model. Here we go. Seemed like it was... Okay. Sorry, it didn't seem like it was working properly, and I couldn't really tell why. The mouth wasn't moving as much as it's supposed to. Now it's not moving at all. Hold on. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, there we go. The camera wasn't high enough up, I don't think. Let's see. No, it's still not reacting the way it should. What's the deal? Okay. I think it's working now. I had to recalibrate the thing again, I guess. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Tara, she's doing alright. As I said, she's kind of old, so I don't know how much time she has left. So we're going to try a couple of things and see how she does over the next month or two, but it was just mostly if something did happen today and a decision had to be made, the stream wasn't going to happen, but the things turned out alright. I said, let's go ahead and try to do it. It's the last week of Halloween. This is the only time I'm going to get to do this. Until next year, because I don't do very much horror outside of Halloween season, so that, as we say. Besides that, we did have one other thing to note. Bella Cass, thank you for the follow. She followed me 4 days ago. But I just wanted to shout that out because as a small VTuber, every follow I can get, it matters. So I do appreciate those things as always. So, analog horror. Now, that is a genre that's kind of had a lot of dips in recent years. Mostly just because of how oversaturated the genre has mostly become. It started out as a very novel thing that's really the only something on the internet can do very well. And over the years, we've seen some kind of ebb and flow in it, but I haven't paid too much attention to what the genre has been doing much in the last year or so. A lot of this just has to do with the fact that 2025 has been a difficult year, for better or worse, for me in general. and even the world at large for that matter. So I haven't really been wanting to spend as much time dwelling in the darker thoughts as I might normally be willing to do from time to time. So I don't really know what has made rounds or if it's just continued the way it has been. So instead of trying to find a single series to cover, I thought I would just go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way, navigate our way through YouTube, and see what we stumble across. So it's going to be a little bit unfocused and probably all over the place, and also because I'm probably going to have to scroll through a bunch of stuff to find something to look at, so bear with me. It's been a while since I've done anything like this, so it's a little bit different from the trailer reactions or the reactions to content I do in 14, so this will be a little bit more all over the place. Speaking of live letters, reminder that the live letter for the first live letter for 7.4 for Final Fantasy 14 is on Friday. No plans to stream that one because not only is it a work day, but it's really, really early in the morning. And it wouldn't be so bad if I wasn't worried about having to cut the stream off in the middle of the live letter, because it always depends on how long these live letters go on for. If they're like a few hours, I can get by those pretty easily, but if they go on longer than that and they run into my work day, well, I can't really do that yet, so it goes. I will comment on some stuff as I hear about it, but other than that, we're probably not going to do anything too special for that. Otherwise, the usual plans for this week are the Final Fantasy 14 raid nights as well, and then starting next week, we're going to get back to some normal stuff here, as I have plans to stream something, but I'll announce that at a later time here. I don't want to announce what I'm doing just yet, so we'll get there. Anyway, why don't we get started here tonight, because I'd like to do as much as we can here, and see how long I can keep yapping for, because trying to get used to doing that a little bit more so I don't exhaust myself every stream, but so let's go ahead and get ourselves set up in the other room here. To the viewing room, which I haven't had the opportunity to use this thing yet. Okay, I think that will work here. All right, so let's just go ahead and set the lights down for the benefit of I thought I kind of felt like during the mouth washing stream that maybe this was a little bit too dark. Maybe we'll just turn it up a little bit. There we go. All right. Now that we have the proper effects on. Okay, so, and of course, the big issue with looking for analog horror these days on YouTube is just the sheer number of content creators that produce reactions to this kind of thing. So, My main goal is to avoid the reaction content of other streamers. Not for I'm not really looking to react to explanations of things. I'd rather just react to the content itself. So that's what we're going to try to focus on. But this also means I also have to deal with the ads and things like that. So we're probably going to have to drop in and out of this as we make our way through. So bear with me as we do that. Before we do, though, bear with me for just a second. Need to take care of one little thing real quick here. Just need to make a slight adjustment to something here. Hopefully I'll get to a point where I don't need to adjust these things on stream, but before stream or whatever, but okay, so the first one I see we have here is one called Dusk Broadcasting. It was submitted 4 months ago. One of your classmates is not real. Okay. I don't have classmates at this point, but let's fill out the screen here. Okay. I don't know how loud this is going to be, so we might have to do some volume adjustment as we go.
This is Dusk Broadcast. Please.
Oh yeah, that's a little loud. All right, let's try this again here.
This is Dusk Broadcast. Please pay close attention. An unclassified event has been reported in multiple school zones. In nearly every classroom surveyed across affected districts, there is one extra student. No one knows who they are. Teachers don't remember marking them present. Classmates can't recall when they first showed up, but they're always there. A face you don't quite recognize. A name no one can repeat. If you ask them where they live, they will only describe your own house, down to the smallest detail. And whenever someone tries to focus on them, truly look at them, their mind slips. Their face becomes vague. Your thoughts blur. You forget why you were even looking. This has happened enough times to raise official concern. If you suspect the presence of this individual in your class, follow these guidelines. First, do not sit next to them. If you find yourself seated beside them without remembering how you got there, turn to them and say, "Thank you for the offer, but I would like to go back to my own seat." No matter what happens, do not leave the seat without saying this. Second, do not try to write down what they look like. The paper will always end up blank. Third, never follow them after school.
How?
Several students who tried to do this have not returned home. If you attempt to count the number of students and consistently get one too many, you are not imagining it. If they ever speak to you and you can't recall what they said, apologize to them and excuse yourself to the restroom. Do not attempt to confront the individual. Do not draw attention to them. Dusk Broadcast signing off. Stay tuned. Stay safe.
Okay, that was incredibly basic. And it looks like, let's take a look at this channel real quick here. I want to kind of see what we're... looks like they get about... Looks like it's just kind of the same. I kind of wonder if these ones all follow kind of a similar pattern. So let's look at one more on of this channel. Let's see if it's what I'm kind of thinking it is.
If a yellow school bus stops at your usual bus stop, but you don't remember seeing it arrive, do not get on. It will wait for you. It will open its doors slowly. The driver
Just
will
vague
not speak.
notions
Watch
of
for these
things that
signs.
people don't
First,
remember that
the windows are
supposedly have
completely dark, even
supernatural
though it is
causes
daytime.
of some kind.
Second, the tires are brand new. Third, you hear soft tapping from inside, but no one is at the windows. If you step closer, the bus will hum. The air will smell like burnt plastic. You may feel like you must board. That is not your thought. If the driver finally speaks and asks, "Where have you been?" Run. Do not answer. Do not look back. If the bus starts to follow you, take a different road. It cannot leave the school route. And remember, the real bus comes 5 minutes later. Always 5 minutes later. This is Dusk Broadcast, and we hope you survive this encounter.
Yeah, I'm already getting the feeling that this is like something that's done on repeat. Yeah, I think this is the type of analog horror people talk about when they say it's a bit repetitive. This definitely feels like kind of one of those things where this video format just looks like it's the same concept, just with the subject changed up slightly, so I don't think we'll be okay. Let's find something else here. Something that's not a... Oh, there's just so many reaction videos and explanation videos. Well, I'm not doing headphones, so we'll just have to work with what we got here.
This message is issued by the Emergency Coordination Center. Please listen closely and follow the instructions that follow. This is not a drill. If your dog has been exhibiting unusual nighttime barking behavior, particularly in wooded or rural areas, you need to
It's
take
always wooded
immediate
or
action.
rural areas.
Over the past 3 weeks, we have received dozens of reports from residents living in forested regions across the county, describing a disturbing pattern of animal behavior. What began as routine calls about noise complaints has evolved into something far more serious. The reports share common elements that have prompted this emergency advisory. It started on the evening of June 8th when dispatch received the first call from a resident on Timber Ridge Road. The caller, a retired carpenter named Marcus Chen, reported that his German Shepherd
heartbeat
had
in the
been barking
background is making me
incessantly every
uneasy.
night at exactly 11:47
Decent effect.
p.m. Marcus had owned the dog, Rex, for 6 years and described their bond as extraordinary. Rex slept at the foot of his bed, accompanied him on morning walks, and had never shown signs of anxiety or unusual behavior. But something had changed. For 14 consecutive nights, Rex would position himself at the back door and bark toward the tree line behind their cabin. Marcus said the barking wasn't aggressive or territorial like when strangers approached. It was different, protective, almost pleading. Rex would look back at Marcus
I've
between
never really
barks,
heard of
as if
that,
trying to
but
communicate something
that's a pleading
urgent.
bark.
When Marcus would join him at the door and shine a flashlight into the woods, he saw nothing. Just pine trees swaying in the darkness. But Rex would continue barking until Marcus physically led him away from the door. Similar reports flooded our lines throughout that week. A widow in Pine Hollow described her golden retriever pacing the perimeter of her property each night, whimpering and...
I mean, I guess I could see a dog being able to see or hear or something that people don't because they already do that. Once again, this just feels like another attempt to just sort of... I don't really feel tense or... The only thing that's making me tense in this video is that heartbeat in the background. Of course, that just makes me tense in general. That sound is just always makes me feel on edge, no matter what it's placed in.
Scratching at the doors. The dog would only calm down when she brought him inside and closed all the curtains. A young couple near Maple Creek reported their normally quiet beagle howling mournfully toward the forest. Behavior that began the same night as Marcus's experience on Timber Ridge. The pattern was consistent across all reports. Dogs with previously normal behavior suddenly becoming hyper-alert during specific nighttime hours. All the affected properties bordered dense woodland. all the dogs focused their attention on the tree line, not the road or neighboring homes. And in every case, the owners described their pets as trying to position themselves between their family and whatever they sensed in the darkness. On June 22nd, something changed. Behind their cabin, whatever they sensed in the darkness. On June 22nd, something changed. Marcus called dispatch at 2:17 a.m., his voice shaking. He said Rex had been barking as usual when they both heard it. A sound from the woods.
Oh, shoot.
This message is their pets were agitated during daylight hours, refusing to enter of the living room, but his relief was short-lived. 3 days later, both of them listened, almost hysterical. Then, abruptly, the dog
It's going to
fell
cost an
silent.
issue, but I'll figure it out in a
Marcus
moment.
heard a single, soft whimper, and then nothing. When he looked outside, Rex was sitting perfectly still, staring into the trees. The dog's ears were flattened against his head, and Marcus said he'd never seen Rex look so afraid. The tapping sound had stopped, but Marcus felt like something was watching them from the darkness. He stayed awake until dawn, with Rex pressed against his legs, both of them listening to the silence. The next night, Rex didn't bark at all. For the first silence. The next night, Rex didn't bark at all. For the first time in over 2 weeks, 11:47 p.m. came and went without incident. Marcus felt relieved, thinking whatever had been disturbing his dog had finally moved on. But his relief was short-lived. 3 days later, Marcus called us again. This time, Rex was barking inside the cabin. Not at the door or windows, but at the walls themselves. The dog would stand in the center of the living room and bark at the wooden walls, moving from spot to spot as if tracking something moving around the perimeter of the house. Marcus said it felt like something was circling his home, staying just out of sight but close enough. On June 28th, Marcus had his encounter. He was splitting wood behind his cabin around 3 p.m. when Rex began barking from inside the house. Through the window, Marcus could see his dog pawing frantically at the back door. That's when he noticed the shadow. At the edge of the tree line stood a figure unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. Impossibly tall, maybe 8 or 9 feet, with limbs that seemed too long for its frame. The figure was perfectly still, just
Oh,
watching
gee,
him.
like I've not seen something
Marcus
like that on one of
described
these
feeling an
before.
overwhelming sense of wrongness, as if his mind couldn't fully process what he was looking at. The figure's proportions were human, but stretched, distorted in a way that made Marcus's vision blur when he tried to focus on details. Marcus dropped his axe and backed toward the house, never taking his eyes off the figure. He said the thing's head tracked his movement with an unnatural smoothness, like it was floating rather than attached to a neck. When Marcus reached for the door handle, he heard Rex barking turn to whimpering. The dog was pressed against the inside of the door, trembling. As Marcus fumbled with the lock, he heard footsteps. Not the crack of twigs or rustle of leaves you'd expect from someone walking through the forest, but a soft, deliberate padding, like bare feet on moss. The sound was getting closer. Marcus finally got the door open and stumbled inside, immediately deadbolting it behind him. When he looked out the window, the figure was gone. That evening, Marcus discovered that Rex was different. The dog no longer came when called. He wouldn't eat his regular food and refused to sleep in the bedroom. Instead, Rex positioned himself by the front door and stayed there, alert and motionless. When Marcus tried to pet him, Rex flinched away. It was as if something had been taken from the dog, some essential part of his personality erased. Marcus isn't the only one who's encountered this figure. Local authorities have received 17 similar reports over the past month, all describing the same impossibly tall presence lurking at the edges of wooded properties. Some witnesses describe it as native to the area, something that's always been in these forests. Others tell more
And yet
disturbing
nobody
stories.
seems to know what it is.
A hunting party from the reservation 20 miles north reported seeing tracks near their camp 3 years ago. Footprints that were human-shaped but nearly 2 feet long, pressed deep into the mud as if made by something incredibly heavy. The tribal elders they consulted spoke of old warnings about things that walk between the trees, entities that take pieces of what they encounter. They said dogs could sense these beings long before humans ever could, and that a dog's protection should never be ignored. We've also received reports of missing items from properties where encounters have occurred. Not valuable objects, but personal things. A child's favorite toy. A wedding ring left on a nightstand. A photograph from a mantelpiece. The items disappear without any
Just
sign of
random
forced entry,
stuff
as
that
if they
has
simply vanish from
personal
existence.
meaning.
Witnesses describe these
Apparently
disappearances
this monster
happening in the
just
days
takes
following their
things of
encounters with the
importance
tall
from
figure.
people and animals,
What concerns
apparently.
us most is the pattern we're seeing in the affected animals. Dogs that once provided comfort and companionship to their families are becoming withdrawn and fearful. Some refuse to enter certain rooms of their homes. Others won't go outside at all, even during daylight hours. Veterinary examinations reveal no physical ailments, but the behavioral changes appear to be permanent. Based on our investigation, we've identified 3 distinct stages in these encounters. Stage 1 is recognition. Your dog begins exhibiting protective behavior, typically during late evening hours. The animal focuses on wooded areas and appears to be tracking something you cannot see. This stage can last for days or weeks, with the behavior occurring at consistent times. Awareness. You may hear unusual sounds from the forest, experience electronic interference with phones or radios, or notice changes in your pet's behavior patterns. The dog's protective instincts intensify, and they may attempt to prevent you from going outside or approaching windows. Stage 3 is aftermath. Following direct visual contact with the entity, both you and your pet are permanently changed. Dogs lose aspects of their personality and become withdrawn from their families. Witnesses report ongoing feelings of being observed and experience the disappearance of personal items from their homes. If you are currently experiencing Stage 1 behavior from your dog, take these precautions immediately. Do not ignore your pet's warnings. When your dog exhibits protective behavior toward wooded areas, bring them inside and secure all entry points to your home. Close curtains and blinds to prevent outside observation. Do not attempt to investigate what your dog is alerting you to, especially during nighttime hours. If you hear unusual sounds from the forest, such as rhythmic tapping or unnatural movement, do not investigate. These sounds appear to be attempts at communication or luring behavior. Remain indoors with your pet until daylight. Several witnesses who investigated these sounds reported immediate escalation to Stage 2 encounters. Never leave your dog outside overnight if they are exhibiting these warning behaviors. The animal's protective instincts are specifically focused on keeping your family safe, and separating them from you during these episodes appears to intensify the entity's interest in your property. If you have reached Stage 2 and are experiencing
why
daylight
do they show
intrusions
interest?
or direct sightings, contact law enforcement immediately. Do not attempt to approach or communicate with the entity. Witnesses who have tried to interact with the figure report severe psychological aftereffects and accelerated progression to Stage 3 conditions. We want to emphasize that this phenomenon appears to be spreading throughout our county's forested regions. What began as isolated incidents in remote areas is now being reported in suburban neighborhoods that border woodland. The entity shows particular interest in properties where families have strong bonds with their pets, suggesting it may be drawn to emotional connections between humans and animals. Multiple search
Seems
teams have
oddly
attempted
specific.
to track this entity through the forests, but these efforts have been unsuccessful.
Of course they have. They always
The being
are.
appears to move through terrain without leaving consistent tracks and seems capable of avoiding detection by conventional means. However, it cannot
How
hide from
convenient.
the natural instincts of domestic animals, which is why your dog's warnings are crucial to your family's safety. 3 families have already experienced the full progression of these encounters, and all report permanent changes to their lives. The dogs involved no longer provide the same companionship and protection they once offered their families. More concerning, each family has lost personal items that held significant emotional value, objects that cannot be replaced and whose absence creates ongoing distress. We are working with tribal consultants and wildlife experts to better understand this phenomenon, but our primary concern is preventing additional encounters. The pattern suggests that early intervention during stage 1 can break the cycle of escalation. Your dog's protective behavior is not random anxiety or territorial display. It is a warning system that has evolved over thousands of years of domestication, and it should be trusted absolutely. This broadcast will repeat every 4 hours until further notice. Emergency services are coordinating response efforts, but the remote nature of affected areas means response times may be extended. Your best protection is immediate compliance with these safety guidelines and complete trust in your pet's instincts. Remember, if your dog is barking at the woods at night, something is watching you from the darkness. The silence that follows isn't peace, it's patience. And when that silence ends, it may already be too late to protect what the entity has come to take.
Okay, so that was one of Red Signal Archives videos. It's definitely better than the first one we looked at, though it does seem to have the same pattern to it. An unexplained entity appears, is able to do something unexplainable. It can't be found, identified, or found, but it can only be protected from for some random thing. And looking through these videos, yeah, we're kind of talking about another similar, except some of this stuff is even more random. The armless gorilla with T-Rex versus Godzilla. The boiled one, the printer says hello. I don't know. This looks all similar. So a couple of these look like they're supposed to be satire. A lot of this might be, some of this might be satire too, from what's by the names of some of it. But but let's see here. Something I need to check here real quick. Fortunately, my emote setups were messing with the video when I was trying to switch over, so bear with me here. Okay, I'm going to check something real quick to try to fix that specific issue, so bear with me, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to switch some of my buttons around to hopefully make this a little bit less static here. Okay, so we've got another one here. Analog Horror, The Best Mom. This one was a couple years old, so this is our first of a little bit older one. By a creator called Origami Cat. It appears to be a Japanese creator based on the Japanese text used in the name I had to translate over. Onigiri Cat. This one looks familiar. I don't remember if I've seen this one or not, but I'll take a look.
Don't have time to take care of children at work? Nobody does housework? Hi! The Best Mom can help you. From the best mother in the world. Make your childcare life more convenient. They are teachers, chefs, doctors, and even scientists.
That's an odd thing.
Kidding. Best Mother protects children in all aspects. Please rest assured that they will supervise the children's regular rest and study.
While standing sideways on the door.
Children to be outstanding. but make sure your children stay obedient.
Surely kids never have trouble with that.
Sometimes due to system failure, they will become nagwom. The children's regular rest and study. The baby is crying. Don't have time to take care of
That didn't fix it either.
the children's regular rest and study.
Sorry, I'm just going to leave that alone for the moment.
Educate children to be outstanding. Sometimes due to system failure, they will become nagwom.
And apparently eat them.
The Best Mom service is committed to serving every customer.
I can't tell if this is actually
Buy more
supposed to be a
quickly.
living being of some kind, or this is like some sort of artificial intelligence type of thing, or what they're going for here exactly. It's a little ominous either way, but take a look at this channel like we have with some of the others here. Okay, I have seen some of these videos before. They're a combination of analog horror in some cases, and in other cases, just really weird imagery for no other reason other than... I mean, I know that's what Weirdcore kind of, Dreamcore kind of is. It's supposed to be like dreamlike and less scary and more just surreal more than anything else. And I wish I could... Give me just 1 second here. Okay, bear with me. I'm testing something real quick. I just added an add-on to try to disable YouTube's.
The baby is crying. Don't have time to take care of children at work. Nobody does housework.
Okay, there we go.
Hi.
that'll work a
The
little bit
Best
better.
Mom can help you. From the best.
Let's some of these are a little bit more interesting, so let's look at a few of these. Or some of the Weirdcore ones are just supposed to be bizarre. Let's take a look at the very first video on this channel here. Go to bed. Go to bed. I think he wants me to go to bed. An apple. The end. Well, weird is definitely what I would call that, but Analog horror, children's knowledge program. See what's up with the swirly faced teacher here.
Welcome to the Children's Happiness Knowledge column. Let's know more about animals today.
Definitely feels like somebody who
Owl.
made this that is not a native English speaker.
Not an owl.
That's an apple for a
Rabbit.
head.
Not a rabbit.
Clearly not.
Kitten. Not a kitten.
Not a very convincing one, anyway.
Puppy. Not a puppy.
Clearly not.
Goldfish. Not a goldfish.
That was a tomato for a head.
Human.
Be careful. Yeah, this is definitely an older version analog horror where it doesn't even attempt to try to explain anything. It just lets stuff happen and kind of lets you kind of try to decide for yourself what it was that you saw. Let's see. Friendly pills.
Are you snubbed?
Snubbed?
Scolded?
No.
Hated?
Not especially. I'll need the
It's
deuce.
not that they're not friendly enough to you, but you're not friendly enough to them. We found that people who are
there
not
is some
popular
truth
with
to
others
that.
are 32% less friendly.
What's the saying? If you encounter one jerk a day, that person is probably the jerk. But if everybody you meet is a jerk, then you're probably the problem. I don't know how much I believe that 100% because there's a lot of complicated things that goes into that, but still, there is some correlation with that.
Than normal people. Introducing friendly pills.
Why does this sound like an
Consisting of
antidepressant
friendly
drug?
ice with sunshine. Just
What does that
one
even
tablet
mean?
To replenish your friendliness. Make you friendly from the inside
It
out.
sounds like old health
Friendly
nonsense.
pills. Make the world more friendly to you.
Sounds like an old health scam. You see friendliness disease outbreak. Disease description is a disease caused by redacted. Patient 0 was infected by taking friendly pills. And multiple other cases have been reporting the same mode of infection. So what, is this like those diet pills that are actually parasitic worm eggs or something? 24 hours after taking the pills, the patient was sweating profusely, becoming euphoric and elevated, having a lively facial expression, become talkative. At this time, its body fluids will become infectious, and a large number of cases have been reported with contact with infected people. After 72 hours of taking the pills, the patient's skin will develop barbs and cracks. The patient will tear and scratch uncontrollably, often result in appearances of deep wounds and shedding large pieces of skin. The patient usually dies from unhealed bleeding caused by scratching the wounds. When the skin of the whole body falls off, a large amount of redacted. Patient case 0793. Description: a 15-year-old male was chronically bullied by several classmates at school, obtaining pills through TV shopping. This case proves that the change will happen faster in teens. Patient 921. Description. A police officer was found with friendly pills during a drug raid. Took them with a tried and true mentality because he was often abused by his superiors. Description. 32-year-old supermarket porter was repeatedly taunted and rejected when asserting a male colleague. It should be noted this case occurred on a sunny noon when the second stage of the disease occurred. Within 15 minutes, redacted, which led percentage to the percentage of infected of redacted people. Oh, I'll start shooting. That always helps.
Make the world more friendly to you.
Okay, so it was some kind of explicit drug that apparently was obtained through TV shopping, which caused people's skin to blister and itch away. And oh, gee, I don't know what to make of that exactly. It's surreal. It's kind of all over the place, but let's finish up this one by looking at one of the more recent ones. Analog horror. He is a door. The noon at home alone. Seems to be someone else at home. What to do? Take a look, do nothing. Dad? He didn't speak, he just kept looking at me. He has been there. I will be blocked wherever. Weird. Dad? I don't think that's Dad. Game over. Face is melted. That one looked like it's kind of reminiscent of some of the ones I've seen that are based on, like, old Flash games and things like that. I'm trying to remember what the name of that was about the Flash game. I want to say it was something Lucy or Lisa or something with an L. Something like that. Maybe we'll stumble across it later, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. It makes me think of those old, early internet Flash games in terms of its style and presentation. I know there are a few analog horror series that kind of work around like that, but I think that's all we're going to look at of Origami Cat at the moment. So let me find something else to look at here. Oh, this is an ancient one. The Blue Channel.
Or a loved one are suffering from any of the following symptoms: lack of feeling, emotional outbursts, fog of the mind, or memory loss. This may be a sign of onset AED or advanced emotional deterioration.
Sounds serious.
7 in 10 people over the age of 21 report experiencing emotional degradation severe enough to hinder everyday
Do I
tasks,
count there?
such as workplace performance, social interaction, and general well-being.
Maybe.
Emotional stability is required for a functional and healthy mind.
I disagree. I'm still functioning somehow.
Used to require rigorous testing and invasive procedures, costing time, effort, and money. Today,
Well, I imagine
the
anything with
solution
emotional
is THALASIN.
things would be. As having fast solutions to those type of things become a big problem.
Produce the emotions necessary for any occasion. Not only does THALASIN restore lost emotion, but patients have reported emotions at a higher and more consistent quality than ones.
What does that even mean in this context?
Included in every pack of THALASIN are these common emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and relief. Also, look out for over-the-counter options such as jealousy, hope, frustration, and pride.
That's the funny thing about this one, is it's talking about emotions like they're individual states of being that you can, like, pop a pill for and experience, when really a lot of these things are just, you know, stuff your brain does in particular situations and interactions that you've been encouraged to experience or feel based on whether it's societal stuff or whether it's you know, just an aspect of life or whatever. And this has a lot of very dangerous implications, because anything that could directly make you angry or make you sad or something like that is an issue with a lot of common psychiatric drugs and things like that. Though this is being a lot more direct with that than what normally would be the case. There's no happy pill, at least happy or sad pill, because that's not really how the brain functions to begin with. Usually you're trying to, most psychiatric drugs usually focus on, like, addressing a particular hormone or chemical function that your brain performs. Like, that's what a lot of antidepressants do, is they act as either inhibitors or enhancers to particular chemical compounds, which is why they oftentimes have different effects on different people, because the specific causes aren't that easy to measure, and sometimes they have a lot of effect on somebody, and other times they have absolutely no effect on somebody. And that's why a lot of times psychiatric issues have to be treated over the course of many years, oftentimes with very different medications, depending on what you're dealing with.
Tired of only experiencing natural emotions?
What exactly would an unnatural emotion be?
Emotional palette. Cutting-edge brain mapping technology has not only allowed us to refine existing emotions, but has also allowed for the creation of new emotions and emotional experiences. With THALASIN Plus, experience emotions beyond previous natural capabilities. These
That doesn't sound safe.
Degrance,
Vagrants.
nage, dorselessness,
Horselessness.
andric, verin, Harnish, hard, time, trantiveness, teluge, brick.
Are these even words? Oh, that ain't good.
To experience the power of THALASIN, call the number on your screen.
Trying to see if I can make out the text on the bottom, but it's hard to read. Something about taking one tablet 20 minutes or 20 something. Do not take more than 5 in a 24-hour period. Do not take with alcohol or when pregnant.
Number on your screen.
Taking more than the recommended can permanently cause permanent brain and physical disfigurement.
Now, before
Something required
run out.
for help and go to I don't know. It says something about it's this. It looks like it's kind of the standard spiel you get with a lot of advertisements on for pharmaceutical drugs you see on TV in the U.S. in particular. A controversial thing to say the least, and is oftentimes, and I almost think this is what this is trying to tackle, is that type of there's a lot of controversy in the U.S. surrounding the advertisement of pharmaceutical drugs. And more often than not, the drugs that are advertised that you see on TV and things like that are not the common medications used for actual ailments. Like, the type of antidepressants you would get from your doctor are not usually the ones that are advertised on TV. Rather, those are usually enhancement drugs. They're usually intended to be used on top of other existing treatments. Because your standard antidepressant doesn't need to be advertised on TV or on the internet in order to get sales for it, because the doctors will normally prescribe those first anyway. These other medications are usually like special. They're basically intended to be enhancers. They're something you add on medications, you stack on top of your existing medications because you're not getting enough results from whatever medication you've been given by a doctor. The problem with these medications is that they're often overkill and can have a lot of very severe side effects that regular medications wouldn't normally have. Like, your standard antidepressants will have, general side effects for an antidepressant, but generally won't have a whole bunch of... Have you ever watched any of those commercials for those specialized medications? You'll notice the extremely long list of side effects and the number of caveats they add. That's the kind of stuff you kind of tend to worry about. And that's why it's so controversial, because it feels like you're basically selling a pharmaceutical product that somebody may not actually need, but because it's being shown in a... You don't really want to sell drugs to people the same way you would sell like a video game console or a computer with. It's really not a great idea. And yeah, the Blue Channel THALASIN is produced by Goose Rocks. I said this was 4 years ago. I don't know what they've been doing since then. They have 1.68 million subscribers. Oh, they're involved in the Amazing Digital Circus thing. That must be what they do now. I'm not very familiar with it. We're not going to dig too deep in this channel because the rest of their work doesn't really have much in common with things like the Blue Channel was. Probably best seeking out something else in the meantime here. You just note to self, in the future, make lists ahead of time. Give yourself more time to do this. Okay, let's see what else we can find here. This one's called Obelisk, The House with No Windows by Lizardman Inc. Well, let's take a look. Recently found a strange abandoned house. Looks like a tiny one at that. No other house is built around it. It seems seemingly in the middle of nowhere. There's no doors or windows. There's no obvious way inside. I ended up finding a flat piece of wood that appeared to be hiding something. Behind it appears to be an entrance to a crawl space. What secret is this house hiding? Oh, I'm sure it's always a good idea to go crawl into some random crawl space in a house that has no doors or no windows and doesn't seem to exist in any capacity that it should be. Way inside. Weird you would set up a crawl space to get inside your house, but I'm sure this is done weird. Oh, perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. Smells like burnt matches. This is like some backdoor type stuff. Cable glued to the ceiling. That's normal, right? Kind of unnerving, isn't it? Door is so tall. Light. Okay, what's gonna jump out at him? I'm ready for this. I think. Random light on the ground and what looks like classroom desks. Be still, God. Know that I am God. More hallways. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of the backdoor videos that became popular over the last couple of years. Kind of weird spaces that don't make very much sense. There's something lurking around it. Does make me very uneasy, though, so I was doing a good job of that much. Stairs going nowhere. Yeah, there were no doors or windows going in and out of this place, so there's no real place for a stairway to go. In fact, they're just random lights strung about in places. Makes this place more eerie than if it were just completely dark in a lot of ways. It's a door. That is up. Definitely up. There's whatever is lurking in the place. What are you? I know your face. Well, that definitely made me feel unnerved, if nothing else. Let's see here. Looks like this Obelisk series. Okay, that's just the well, it's a shorter series, so let's go ahead and hop over to a few of these because I'm kind of curious. Made a new friend. You want to meet him? He lives in here. He is in my closet. Afraid of being in the closet, but this is a little bit too literal, isn't it? Can you see him? No, I really can't. Oh, now I see him. Unfortunately, I can. And I'd rather stop seeing him if I could help that, thank you. Hey, doing a good job watching me if he doesn't like watching. That's a fair question. is here. He is where? He is upstairs. I mean, he can stay up there if he wants. You see him. No. Oh. What the heck is that? Yeah, I see him. I don't want to keep seeing him.
Uncompromising energy.
You're almost gone. Yeah, he's not moving in a way that's normal. There's a random door in the middle of the woods leading to those same creepy hallways we saw before. You are tall. Way, way too tall. Even by my standard. Well, these are pretty short, but... in your home. Back on Abby. These empty, weird hallways. Oh. Well, it was there, and now it's not. I think. Oh, no, that's still there. The doors were locked. We got a few more of these.
This right here, what I'm wearing.
See, this one's called Why Do You Keep Us Here? He is in here somewhere. Like an old 3D video game from like the 90s, early 2000s. Weird form of 3D exploration with a frame rate to match. Meanwhile, gotta deal with the other horror. There we go. That worm? You're not how I remember you, Abby. Oh, you don't remember him as a giant worm? Why do you keep me here? I don't know. Why are you being kept here? I can't stay here. Apparently you are staying here. And for some reason you can't seem to leave that room. Okay, it seems like these last, like, 3 videos are all connected directly. Abby's being kept in there, not being allowed out for some reason. I think that chair against the door wouldn't be good enough. Please forgive me. Giving what?
How are things going?
I'm just thinking. I've had Goldie for years, and I had to bear him yesterday. It's just strange that he's gone now. Where do you think he is?
I'm not quite sure, but some people believe that when a loved one passes away, a small piece of them can come back as something else to visit you when you're sad. I don't see why it'd be different for a fish. I'm sure he'd still want to come by and check up on you.
Someone's at the door.
Who would be out this late?
Well, that's an unsettling knock, isn't it?
Hello?
Who's at the door?
Old butterfly.
It's a butterfly.
Keen eyesight. Huh. Symbolism for something. I'm not entirely sure what. Looks like the last video is the Obelisk, the man in the tower. One's really long, so I guess let's see if this is worth watching here. See the shape of whatever that thing is. At least it looks like it might be it. So I'm just seeing things, but hard to tell. It's so dark. Yes, thank you for pointing out that the entire house is dark. I couldn't tell that. Smells like burnt matches. Same thing that was said about the house with no windows, too. Oh, gee, that got me off guard. That door doesn't belong here. Yeah, it doesn't really match the rest of the structure very much, does it? And how Mr. Weird Face is going from one place to the other.
This can't be happening.
This is my home anymore.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
Now we're back to the door being blocked off by the chair. Ooh, Abby's room or whatever that thing is supposed to be. I don't know if it's Abby or if it's Abby's abductor or what it's supposed to be. You're a little bit too curious about that door, aren't you? Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the nerve to open up a weird door that I've never seen before in my house. That might be a little bit, trying to make a quick exit. Or at least wait until I could bring somebody over to confirm that I'm not completely insane. And seeing doors where they don't exist. Strangely shaped chairs, random pictures. We're back to the kind of distorted space room that we saw in the first video we watched, where furniture and stuff is just kind of scattered about in kind of weird places. Oh, that's the door. Or a door. So far, this series has just been kind of been more weird than frightening. Outside of the, tall guy with the scary face, which, to be fair, isn't that scary, but it's more this kind of weird scenario you're kind of put into when, well, that thing is, whatever it is stalking around for whatever reason. Up or down? I don't know, my experience going down is usually not the best idea in the world. Especially when you can't see. I think he's putting me in kind of an odd trance, actually. So calm and quiet and uneventful. It's like we're just sort of waiting for something to appear, and it's... This feels like... I remember this room. I hope you do, because I certainly don't. Alright, keep drifting a little bit here. My home. I heard something there. Oh, there it is. Also just curious at this point because it hasn't done much so far, so I'm just like, okay, is it chasing him down? Is it doing anything? Or is it just talking in the dark? Going. Wall installation. Not sure if crawling through a tight space like that is really the best idea for that type of situation, but hey, I'm not the one being chased by an eldritch horror. Large stack of school chairs. Looks like guy stuff I used to sit in like middle and high school. I think I can sit in those things much anymore though. They hurt my back a bit. Again, the shifting walls and the almost funhouse style locations of everything. Oh, we're back at this place again. This is back in the house without the windows again. Almost like his home and this place has become like one thing. It's just some sort of dimensional thing where a whole bunch of places are being linked together by this one location in some way. When I upload the Void, I'll try to cut out the commercial stuff that keeps interrupting everything. Thing puts me into such a weird daze until like suddenly something happens out of nowhere. Pretty decent atmosphere to it though, even if it's Music reminds me of sunny days. Childhood home. Space and time is clearly bendable now. Moved out not long after Dad passed. And everything about this kind of puts me into a trance-like state, and then something sort of jumps out at me towards the end. Here and there to wake me back up again. Kind of an odd thing. Maybe I'm just so used to these kind of things that I'm just sort of used to it. These places are like. Yeah, the fact that nothing's changed at all is a little bit. This is the same closet where that last video talked about, have you met my friend? And that's where that one ends. That one is definitely interesting. I don't really know what to make of it. There's so many, it's kind of one of those ones I feel like I need to watch a video about later to understand what the heck I just watched, but, it's interesting. Particularly for a newer one. It looks like this last video was put out 11 days ago, it looks like, so it's relatively new by comparison. Okay, so The Wolf and the Seven Little Goats by Foximations. Now, I think I've seen some videos similar to this one before. I think it's actually a whole series involved with stories about fairy tales about wolves, which were a pretty common aesthetic in old fairy tales, but warning, this video has flashing lights, loud sounds, and blood and jump scares. Alright, you've been warned. Approximations presents The Wolf and the Seven Little Goats. I don't really remember this one very well, but...
Hey kids, Mommy is going to the forest to get food for us. Do not open the door under any circumstances while I'm away. The big bad wolf is loose in the forest, and if you open the door, he will eat you all. If he knocks on the door, you won't have any problems recognizing him. He has a gruff voice, haunting eyes, clawed hands. You will know it will not be me. Do not open the door and hide immediately until I get home. He is very dangerous.
Okay, Mom. Don't worry about us. We'll take care. Come back soon.
See you soon. Take care.
I'm sure there will be no problems at all.
I think this much food is necessary to feed them. I better go home. Wolf, you scared me.
Hello. What are you doing in the forest at this time?
I'm just getting food for my kids. Please, Mr. Wolf, don't do anything to me. I have to feed my children. I just want to go home. Please.
You should be more careful. Walking in the forest at these times can be dangerous. Very dangerous.
Well. Well, your lunch meat, lady.
Guys, it's getting late and Mom hasn't come back yet. I'm getting worried.
Look, don't worry. She should be arriving soon. Mom takes a while sometimes.
That's true. There was a time she took even longer than this, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. Of course there's something to worry about. Don't you remember what she told us about the big bad wolf? He's loose in the forest. What if he got her?
Relax, brother. Mom is smart, and that big bad wolf is probably not a big deal. If he knocks on our door, we'll do what she told us, and he'll probably go away.
Okay.
Somehow I got it out there.
Guys, it's really late, and our mom hasn't come back. We need to go see what happened to her.
You're right, but we can't leave the house. She told us to stay here. She might have taken shelter somewhere since it's getting late. I don't know.
That's true, bro. Going outside at this hour could be dangerous. Especially with the story about the big bad wolf she told us. It's better to wait until sunrise, and then we'll go look for our mom. Look, not gonna stay here waiting while my mom could be in danger out there in the forest, so if you're not going, I will.
I'm sure this won't go poorly.
Don't go, brother. It's dangerous. Who's there?
Let me, little children. Your mother is here waiting for you.
We're not going to open it. Go away now. We know who you are, and if you don't leave, you'll stay out there forever.
Sure.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the window, didn't we? Like a creepy old DOS game. Oh, child murder.
Hello? Who's there?
Well, yeah, a wee bit over the top, ain't it? Where am I? No dead son. We are. Sorry, I'm pushing it a little bit back because I missed that last part because I'd have it on screen.
Guys, I think we'd better get out of here before we're the next ones to be taken. I'm so scared if we leave, we're gonna get caught.
But we have to go, brother. Either we try to escape and stay alive, or we sit here waiting to die. There's no other way.
I think you already went too
Is that
loud.
a camera? Yes, brother. We could record and show the footage to some local authority if we make it out alive.
He's right. Let's record everything. If we make it out, someone needs to see what happened here.
Okay, let's leave quietly and head toward the exit door, all together.
Alright, I think it's recording. Remember, stay silent. Let's go toward the house's exit door. Run, brother!
Yeah, I guess it's not gonna be the most effective thing ever, is it?
Mom! Look what he did to our mom! Come on, we need to find help! Brother?
Well, everybody's dead. And you are? That's on Gretel. Well, it's big guns, are you? Yeah, it seems pretty on par with the other other types of this horror that I've seen. Because yeah, they have all sorts of animation going on FNAF, and then they started on their own stuff, which was this series based on the Big Bad Wolf from various stories, but I don't think we're going to spend too much time on those because I feel like too many of those will get my video blocked on YouTube. Let's see, we have The Ugly Duckling by Dakilla Yoshi. I think this is a similar vein to the last one, but made by a different creator. So maybe we'll take a quick look at this one. Same type of looks, like storybook style analog horror.
The Ugly Duckling. Created by 477974001. Once upon a time, by a peaceful lake, Unauthor Swan was laying her eggs. Little did she know, one of her offspring was born different. It was a duckling. "Look at this ugly thing," said one of the cygnets, as they peered at their sibling. The mother swan looked at the duckling with disgust. "This is not one of my children," she said as she picked at it, pushing the hatchling away from the nest. "You're a freak and you know it. You will never be beautiful." The duckling cried as its family relentlessly shamed it. Day after day, the family would mistreat the duckling, making fun of its appearance.
The animation's already pretty
The swans
disturbing as it is.
pointed out their differences such as their size or beaks, though they mainly ridiculed the duck's feathers. "Your feathers are plain and gross, like dirt. You could only dream of having a coat like ours. One day, the duckling disappeared. Good riddance, chirped one of the siblings. That runt was tainting our family. Many suns and many moons passed, and before they knew it, they had all grown into graceful and elegant swans.
Fortunately, this isn't that much different from other forms of abusive families.
For all of you to find a place of your own. I trust that all of you will be able to have a beautiful family like ours, and continue our pure bloodline. Okay, Mother, farewell, they squawked, then darted off along the lake. Gliding along the water, the swan siblings reminisced about the past.
It's a shame, really,
said one of the swans.
Although he wasn't a looker, it does feel strange that he has left us.
Oh please, Sylvie, as if you care what happened to that thing. If you ask me, between his shitty feathers and that weird stare, it's a blessing that he's out of the picture.
Simon, that's horrible. Just because he was a little different, didn't mean we had to be such dicks as kids.
Loosen up, Sylvie. Besides, what good does caring do now?
Whatever, Simon.
That line is actually pretty poignant in this type of situation because the thing with bullying and things like that is even if you feel bad about what you've done to somebody else like that, the damage never goes completely away. I had a number of bullying issues in school and stuff when I was younger, and even though I moved far away from those people eventually, and I haven't heard or seen any of them in many decades at this point, some of the things that were said and done to me still stick with me even now, and it's still one of those things that you cannot completely erase. It's just, I don't have the motivation or drive to do what this this particular duckling is going to end up doing. These guys.
Mom, praising your coat has gotten to your head. It's getting dark. Where is everyone?
Seasons passed, and the mother swan decided it was time to reunite with her kids. Disappointed that they never came to visit, she swam the route along the lake that her children once did, many moons ago. It is awfully quiet here, thought Mother Swan, as she passed the reeds of what she assumed would shelter her offspring. She found it odd, now to think of it, that she hadn't heard from her kids after all these years. Turning the bend, she hopped out of the water and made her way to the barn. Simon said he was going to move here, she pondered. I wonder if he's finally got some hatchlings of his own. Approaching the barnhouse, Mother Swan called out. Simon, Mother is home. There was silence. The door was left ajar. Simon, come on, darling, I want to see how my beautiful boy has.
Every day I woke up, and every day I was reminded that I am inadequate. You're a freak, an ugly freak. Your feathers, your beak. Good luck trying to keep your perfect family. It will be hard to continue your pure bloodline if everyone is dead. You want to know what I've done? I think you know. I have become beautiful. No one came looking for me when I disappeared. And now, no one will come looking for you.
Well, that was certainly a thing, wasn't it? No one will be indeed coming back for you. is short and sweet, and I don't think this creator has a... Well, they might have some other work, but that's the one I... Looks like they have a few things, but nothing that's, I think we're going to look at. So. Wendigo, an analog horror film by Zero Catalog. I know the Wendigo is like a creature from like Native American cultures, I want to say. I'm trying to remember what the Wendigo is. I think it's something of that nature. Yeah, it's a mythological creature, evil spirit from the folklore of Algonquin-speaking people in North America, particularly those of the Great Lakes region. Often depicted as a monstrous skeletal giant or malevolent spirit associated with winter, famine, greed, and cannibalism. Legend said it was... Okay. So this is probably some analog horror take on that particular legend. So why don't we check that one out as well? Such a well-rendered house or tent or whatever that's supposed to be.
Don't you be afraid of him if he should visit you. He's a great big coward, so I'll tell you what to do. Hush, 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 here comes the boogeyman. Don't come too close to you, he'll catch you if he can. Just pretend that you're a child, and you will find that boogeyman will run away a mile. Say shoo shoo.
At least you both came home safely. Let's go back home at least before 8 p.m., all right? Promise.
Here comes the boogeyman.
But you went to your uncle's house last time. Yeah, we did. What happened? Have they brought you gifts? Well, nothing really happened. You knocked a few times at his house, but nobody answered. We had no choice but to leave. Maybe he's at work or something. Was that why you came home late this late at night? Yeah. Sorry, Mother.
Residents of Indian's village reported a series of brutal killings linked to Mateo Jose Yaro, a 13-year-old male. The suspect has not yet been arrested, and authorities urge everyone to report any sightings or interactions with him immediately. Between 1 p.m. and 12 p.m., Yaro allegedly murdered 4 families. Witnesses described
Trying to make out what's being said, but I can't make it out very well. Guessing it was some sort of broadcast warning about something. Teo? Son? Yes, Mother? Wasn't Mateo your cousin? Oh, hello. What an innocent deer. I desire your life. Where'd that whistle come from? Hell. Another thing. Not worry. I will take care of your family. Oh, the black mark across his face. Hello, anyone there? Hello? Hello, son. Father, why are you up this late? I relaxed outside. Is it bad to breathe some outside air? You told me that sleeping in this time is bad. Can you instead make me a cup of coffee? Please. You don't drink coffee. Only Mother does. I said make me a cup of coffee! Yes, Yes, Father. Well, that was confusing. Have I misbehaved? He's never punched me ever since. Why does he act so strange tonight? Mother? Uh-oh. Hello, son. Look who I have brought. My mother. Please, Father, let go of her, please. How innocent. Isn't he love? Please, let go of my hair. We can talk about this. But I have to put up a show. For everything you have taken from me, Steph. Father, I don't understand. Please let her go. You're hurting her. And so have when I ever cared. You had everything in life. A nice family. You solved everything that I would have in my dreams. To be in luxury like yours, to be treated like royalty. Father, please, I did not do any such things to you. I don't know what I've stolen, but I'm sorry. Please let Mother go. We can talk about this in the morning. No attempts of apologizing can ever stop this. Any last words, dear Mary, my love? Mateo, run as fast as you can. Well, that was a thing. Who are you? Show yourself.
So every Friday that ever comes along, I get up early and sing this little song. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Bang, 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 bang goes the farmer's gun. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, 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 run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Don't give the farmer his...
Well, that was something, though I was still a little confused by it, just based on the way everything played out and the names that were being used. Let's take a look at this account real quick here. they have a number of videos of kind of the same style and regards, from what I can tell. I don't know how to feel about it entirely, though, but that's what I can say for a lot of these we've looked at tonight. Let's see. A little bit of trouble with my eyes at the moment here, so let's take a quick break here, and I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about this. I'm suddenly not feeling very well all of a sudden. I've been kind of fighting off with my stomach for the last, like, hour or so that we've been running here, so I think probably what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. I do apologize. I couldn't really pull much over this, but it's actually already been sort of a long day, so I guess I'm not surprised. I'm more tired. I just wanted to take an opportunity to use some of this analog horror material while we were still in the Halloween season, since I want to get back to regular streams next week, with Halloween being over and all that. So I guess to give my final thoughts on tonight, I guess I sort of agree with the general sentiment in regards to analog horror currently. Not that it's dead, but that it's kind of in a situation where there isn't very much I haven't seen before. Like, most of the stuff I saw tonight is stuff I've seen in other contexts previously, and I think that may be part of the reason why I was feeling a bit underwhelmed by multiple things we watched. And I don't really know what it takes for a genre like this to kind of have a revival. It usually takes there being some new idea or new concept that kind of gets some life back into something like this. But nothing, the first few ones we looked at were kind of generic, but they weren't terribly put together or anything like that. I mean, I've definitely seen a lot worse in that situation, all that, but it's kind of interesting to come back to that. Since I said I haven't been really paying that much attention this year due to a number of issues, so it was fun to just go back and kind of watch a few things and goof around on for a little while. Just keep the holiday spirit. Mostly because the whole reason I decided to do this was because I couldn't find another horror game that really looked appealing to me, but maybe because I set the bar too high by starting with mouthwashing. It was hard to clear that bar after that point, but probably going to be able to wrap up the Halloween season tonight with this this foray into the analog horror genre. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Let's see what people are up to this evening. I think Usagi is starting soon. Okay, we have nobody here at the moment, so we're actually just going to close out here. So we'll be back tomorrow for another Final Fantasy XIV raid night. I hope you'll come and join us then. Otherwise, thank you for joining me as always, and we'll see you next time. Hello everyone, this is Draginhikari. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to be notified of future videos. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see from me, feel free to comment below. Also, check out the links in the description of the video to find me on various other platforms. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.